מה טוב עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טוב עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. ואני ברוב חסדך אהוב אתך, אשתחווה לכל קודשך ויראתך. מה טובו עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. אדוני אהבתי מאוד, מאוד ביתך, ומקום משכן, ומקום משכן, משכן כבודך. מה טוב עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טוב עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. ואני אשתחווה ואקרא אברך לפני אדוני אוסיף. מה טוב עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טוב עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. ואני תפילתי לך אדוני, את רצון אלוהים, מלך חסדך ענני באמת, באמת אישך. מה טוב עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טוב עליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. משכנותיך
All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Isn't that beautiful, David? I mean, we have to credit Tess, those videos, the shots of all these glorious synagogues from all over the world. Really, just so beautiful.
From all over the world. And that's interesting that we're going to talk about this idea of all over the world in just a little bit. Just a little bit. We're going to talk about this idea of all over the world. But it was beautiful. That was super beautiful. Again, Boker Tov, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. So wonderful to have everybody here with us. Oh, look, I love this. It always is always a nice miracle for me to see the name of our names pop up. I'm like, oh, look at that.
It's good to be reminded of who you actually are in the world, right? Versus who you think you are.
That's beautiful. Who do you think you are? Look who thinks he's remember that one? Anyway, speaking of miracles, you know what? I think we should just jump right into a little bit of Nisim B'chol Yom this morning, the miracles and blessings of the everyday. If you have a book with us, if you have the book, we're on page 177. Otherwise, just follow along on our screen as we continue with Nisim B'chol Yom.
Let's do it together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, המעביר שינה מעיניי, ותנומה מעף אפיי.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני בצלם אלוהים.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני בן חורין.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני ישראל.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוזר ישראל בגבורה.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוטר ישראל בתפארה.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, לעסוק בדברי תורה.
Amen. Beautiful. We'll continue now with Psalm 150.
Let's all join together. Sing, dance. If you have a drum handy, let's join together. Here we go. Hallelujah, 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 el bekotsho, hallelujah, berkia uzo, hallelujah, bigvurotav, hallelujah, kerov gudulo. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol anshamat, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol anshamat, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol anshamat, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol anshamat, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Woo! He went for that note at the end. He went for the note. I love it.
I wanted to wake people in my neighborhood up. Right?
Yeah, Boker Tov, wake them up.
It's time. Get out there and take your dog for a walk.
That's right. Well, I
My neighbors
definitely
love
think
me.
they definitely. Well, who wouldn't love you?
Especially
Cantor,
on
come
morning.
on.
Especially
Come
on
on.
Shabbat morning. Yeah.
Well, speaking about being woken up, I think for the Baruch Hu, I think I am ready to pray. That is my call to prayer. I'm awake. For the Baruch Hu, what I'm going to do, instead of necessarily standing, I'm just going to sit up a little taller, right? I like that, right? Going to sit up a little taller as we continue with the Baruch Hu.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam vaed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam vaed.
Before we jump into the Shema, I want to talk a little bit about it, which I find a bit interesting here. Okay. So when we say the Shema, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is God, Adonai is one. Now, when we talk about hear, O Israel, like hear, listen, not hero as in Gibor, right? But hear as in right? Yeah, Hear, fabulous, right there on the screen. Thanks, Tess. What Israel are we talking about, right? Because there's so many different Israels here. We could be like, oh, what's Israel? The children of Israel, the people of Israel, the land of Israel, the state of Israel. So the parsha that we're in right now, right? Vayigash. At the end of this parsha and the beginning of the next ones is very interesting. There's a beautiful midrash that talks about, because I didn't say the last Jacob, or just gave it away, the last Israel, Jacob, right? Remember Jacob had his name changed just a couple parshiot ago. James changed to Israel. So there's this really beautiful part here, because what Cantor Gurney is going to be chanting in just a little bit. Where are we in the story, right? We got Joseph. His brothers came down. Why? Because there's a famine in Canaan, right? Cantor Gurney, famine in Canaan. Yeah. That, God created this famine, but that's for a whole nother discussion. But they come down here, right? They come down to get the food, and then Joseph recognizes his brothers, but his brothers don't recognize him, and they're like, oh my God, and then there's this whole thing back and forth. And at the end of this parsha is when Joseph reveals himself to his brothers, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Is my father still alive? They bring Jacob down, right? They bring Jacob down from Canaan to see his son. And this is the first kind of like, they are making the choice to leave the promised land and settle in Egypt, right? This is a big deal. Right? Because there's still famine going on there. Joseph's super tight with the Pharaoh. Pharaoh and Joseph are like, don't go back to that place. Don't go back to Canaan. Stay here. This is going to be great. This place is going to be awesome. Come move down to Egypt. We'll give you this entire area, in the suburbs, Goshen, right, Cantor Gurney? You're going to be hanging out in Goshen. Or, if people need a different frame of reference, it was as if, yeah, come to Los Angeles. You all you Jewish people, go live in Encino. Go ahead, right? You go into the valley. It's the burbs, but that's all yours. And everybody's like, yeah, this is gonna be great. However, Jacob is like, okay, but what am I doing? I'm taking my family away from the promised land. It's like I'm taking them away from who they are, right? Cantor Gurney says I'm taking them away from who they are, and they are assimilating into another culture. They are living in the diaspora. They are purposely living in the diaspora. They're not in the promised land. They're living in the diaspora and assimilating into the other culture. At least that's what Jacob is feeling. And here's the midrash. This is really beautiful. Cantor Gurney, I'm sure you've heard this one before. So Jacob is there on his deathbed, right? And he's thinking to himself, man, did I make a big mistake by coming down here to Egypt? And are my children still God-fearing? Are they still Israelites? Are they still, these proto-Jews? And he's there on his deathbed, and his sons say to him, Shema Yisrael, listen, Israel, listen, Dad. Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. God is our God, like our God is our God. God is one. Basically saying, don't worry. Yes, we moved down here to Goshen. Yes, we've assimilated, but you know what? Don't worry. You've taught us well. We still are connected to who we are as a people. And that's when, and then when we whisper, it says, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto. They say that in the same midrash, the reason why we whisper is because that's like Jacob or Israel on his deathbed. He's so tired. He's like, oh, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto. Right? Basically saying, phew! Thank God, and he can die knowing that he still gave his children, the teachings of who they are, where they come from. So not to worry, even though you're living in the diaspora, even though you're you assimilated, that there's still, it's not all or nothing, right? And it was interesting, right? We're showing these synagogues from around the world that you mentioned, Cantor Gurney, that Tess put together for us, right? It's the same thing, right? You're around the world, but you're not forgetting who you are. And there's multiple levels of what that can mean. There's multiple levels. Now, this is a jump I'm about to make, Cantor Gurney. It's a jump, but it's not really a jump. Okay, it's going to seem like a jump, but it's not really a jump. Cantor Gurney, what are you? And well, maybe not you, but I know I am. Maybe you and millions of Jews all over the United States. What are they going to be eating on Christmas?
If they are good, traditional, observant Jews, they'll be eating, I think I said Jews, good traditional Jews. They'll be eating Chinese food of some type, right?
Exactly, right?
This the law of the American Jewish diaspora.
But that's it's the law of the okay. So yes, that's funny, but check this out. Right? Check this out. Jews eating Chinese food, right, is so much a part of the American Jewish experience, where it really is this idea of ritual and connection to tradition, right? I'm not even going to go into like the real history. If anybody's interested in the history of this, right, because it's fascinating, make sure you turn in tonight for Havdalah, where Cantor Picard and Rabbi Nanis will be joined by author Joshua Plout, who wrote this amazing book about this Jews and Christmas. And part of it, there's a whole chapter about eating Chinese food. There's a whole chapter, so make sure you check this out tonight. I don't want to give it all away, but it's just a little taste, right? But so one of the things is like, you go to eat the Chinese food, they don't mix meat and milk, right? There's no yeah, exactly. So what you could be doing, you could be eating this fabulous thing, and it's like it's treif that you can feel comfortable bringing home to your mother, because it's oftentimes it's all chopped up in there. You don't even know what it is. But it's like, I mean, look, this is perfect. They're eating the Chinese food. They got the kikot on. And it's like they would even advertise, right? The Chinese restaurant would even advertise like the wonton soup. It'd be like, yeah, it'd be like this wonton soup. But they would advertise it as chicken soup with kreplach, as basically a wonton, right? But philosophers talk about this, and we can't deny the strength and importance of this. Philosophers call this kind of like, there are different orders of value of relationship, right? In one's Jewishness, they say, okay, like first order philosophically, the first order relationship of one's Jewishness. They say like you're getting the joy, Cantor Gurney, from the prayer. From prayers, from Torah texts, from ritual, like the lighting of candles and whatnot. That's where the joy. But then, which is also sometimes even more powerful for the vast majority, is this guts Judaism. It's like a second order ritual. And eating the Chinese food on Christmas has become synonymous with Jewish tradition. It's the second order of real philosophical ritual, where it's less maybe about how sweet the orange chicken is, but rather it helps to reinforce one's Jewishness, right? To literally equate one's Jewishness with the eating of this Chinese food, and it's quite powerful, right? It's like, Shema Yisrael, don't worry, Israel, I'm eating the Chinese food because God is our God and God is one. So don't worry. Right? I mean, it's one of these things that's really, really beautiful as part of who we are as people. I mean, tune in tonight. Jess, put that thing up again one more time.
Ah, yes, for Christmas. Is there any other kind?
I know. Make sure you tune in. You can even see there's some Chinese food boxes at the bottom and on the sides, all around. Tune in tonight to hear this fantastic idea. So this is about the Shema. Eating Chinese food on Christmas is just like reciting the Shema from this midrash, right? So with that, Cantor Gurney, why don't we jump into a little Shema and V'ahavta?
I think that last 10-second piece could be a very, very popular TikTok.
I'll get my daughter Isabel on that.
But let's bring the the light of our tradition forward now. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. And now let's join together in this ancient Torah text. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Beautiful. Why don't we continue now with our song of freedom, a little Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot, osefele, osefele. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilot, osefele, osefele. שירה חדשה, שיבחו גאולים לשמך שפת הים, יחד כולם, הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדי חינומך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני קהל ישראל.
Amen. We now continue with the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov,
אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
We now take a few moments for Tfilat Halev, the prayers, meditations, and thoughts of our heart.
יהוד רצון אמרפי, יהוד רצון אמרפי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Only the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, be acceptable before you. O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. עושה שלום במרומן, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו ואמרו
Beautiful. We now continue with our Torah service. So we're going to be reading from Vayigash towards the end of Vayigash, where it was the section that we talked about where Jacob and his sons leave the promised land and move down to Goshen in Egypt.
Let's begin now with the blessings before the reading of the Torah. Please, everyone, join with me now. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'na'atan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
ואת יהודה שלח לפניו אל יוסף להורות לפניו גושנה ויבואו ארצה גושן ויסור יוסף מרכבתו ויעל לקראת ישראל אביו גושנה וירא אליו ויפול על צוואריו ויבק על צוואריו עוד ויאמר ישראל אל יוסף אמותה הפעם אחרי ראותי את פניך כי עודך חי ויאמר יוסף אל אחיו ואל בית אביו אלה ואגידה לפרעה ואומרה אליו אחי ובית אבי אשר בארץ כנען באו אלי והאנשים רועי צאן כי אנשי מקנה היו בצאנם ובקרם וכל אשר להם הביאו והיה כי יקרא לכם פרעה ואמר מה מעשיכם ואמרתם אנשי מקנה היו עבדיך מנעורינו וידעת גם אנחנו גם אבותינו בעבור תשבו בארץ גושן כי תועבת מצרים כל רועי צאן. Now we join in the blessing after. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chaye olam nata betochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. All right, so Cantor Gurney, since we already discussed the Torah portion a little bit earlier, I had this idea that maybe now.
That's all
I know.
When you say I had this idea,
he's going rogue.
I'm very excited.
He's going rogue. But in place, I thought maybe we would add a little segment I like to call. That's right. Name that Jewish tune. So,
oh my goodness.
You didn't even know. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing today, Cantor Gurney.
I can't name a Jewish tune. We're in real trouble.
We're in real trouble. Okay.
People.
So I am going to present the tune to you.
Okay.
And you are just name it. Let's just see if you could just name this Jewish tune.
Jewish tune? All right.
Just name the tune.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Here we go. Get ready. Okay. Wait,
wait, I have it. It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, very good. Very good.
All
right.
Name that Jewish tune. Yeah.
Let's see. Next, and name that Jewish tune. Here you go. You ready?
I'm ready.
I
have it. I'm thinking
Please.
about the Torah. I see it in the ark. I see the beautiful silver bells on the crown, and I'm thinking that's silver bells. Silver bells.
All right. Let's see if this is this toughie.
Yeah.
This is a toughie. This is like direct from the Shtetlach. Okay, so get ready.
All right. Wait, isn't that White Christmas?
Oh, ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. 3 out of 3. Cantor Gurney.
Oh, one of the greatest, certainly one of the most popular Jewish melodies ever composed.
So, Cantor Gurney, tell us a little bit about why. I mean, it's fun, but why do you think we called this Name That Jewish Tune? Give us a little background.
Those who were on with me in my Music Matters earlier in the week will know, because, in fact, all of these melodies and many more of the most popular Christmas songs were all written, in fact, by Jews. Every one of them, right? We have the most prominent of whom was Irving Berlin. There he is, Irving Berlin. This Russian immigrant came from Russia, impoverished, and became the most prolific composer of song in American history. His original name was Irving Balin, but he came to America in those years. You have to change your name if you want to be able to sell sheet music. It's the truth. Tin Pan Alley and all the way forward. So Irving Berlin wrote White Christmas. He wrote a few more, right? He wrote Happy Holidays, and many more, right? One, I don't think did we sing this one?
Oh,
you got to do
it. Name that tune.
We should start our own version of Shabbos Night Live. you would be the host of that show. So that's the Christmas song written by Melvin Howard Torma, whose name became Mel Torme. Torma was the family village, a little village in Russia. That village was called Torma. When they came to this country, they just took the name of their town and became Torme. And the great, spectacular jazz singer, and in this case, composer, Mel Torme, wrote that famous Christmas song.
So, maybe a little known facts right there that, and again, tonight, please join us for Kosher Christmas Havdalah, where they'll talk a little bit more about this. And for a little bit more of an academic look at it, I would invite all of you to go back to the video archives from our website and watch the Music Matters episode with Cantor Gurney as he goes into in depth about the history of Jewish composers.
It really is a fascinating fact about early American Jewish history and our composers. It's also a fascinating sociology study, because while each of these composers came as immigrants, made great successes, all of them, in composing and selling song, they, at the same time, all felt compelled or were convinced that they needed to change their names in order to be successful, right? The composer of Silver Bells, his name was J. Livingston. His name was actually Jacob Levison. So every one of them, for the most part, changed their names. Sammy Kahn, he didn't change it too much. His real name was Cohen, right? There's the great Sammy Kahn, who wrote so many amazing American standards with Jimmy Van Heusen. This particular Christmas song, one of the ones who wrote, was written with Jules Stein, right? The composer of Funny Girl and Gypsy and many others. But so this fascinating juxtaposition of great success and at the same time having to change your name to hide your religious identity. or the fact that you were a Jew, really. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Cantor Gurney. This is such fascinating stuff. And still reciting the Shema, right? Don't worry. I'm still Jewish. Don't worry. Don't worry. God is our God and God is one. Beautiful. So let's transition now. We're going to take the opportunity to think about those in our lives and in our families who may be in need of healing, whether that's physical healing, mental healing, or spiritual healing. And if you are thinking of anyone today, I invite you to say those names in your hearts, or you can even add them to the chat if you would like, as we take them into our hearts with this Mishaberach prayer for healing.
Mishaberach Avotenu Makor Abracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Makor Abracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Beautiful. We now take the time to transition to moments of remembrance. In a moment, the first names that you will see and hear are those in our community and our families who have died during the past 30 days, the past Shloshim. And then following those names will be the names of those whose yortzeit, their memorial, fell during this past week.
We begin by thinking of those for whom we're in a period of Shloshim, those who have died during these past 30 days, as we call to mind Leah Barshap, Joanne Burton, Holly Brock Cohen, Lawrence Dubinsky, Margaret Epstein, Alice Feldman, Harvey Foreman, Lee Galfon, Lester Korn, Lorraine Michaels, Peter Mayerson, Solomon Neiman, Spencer Pritikin, Maury Rucker, Benito Valner, Estelle Wax, Jack Winberg, and Werner Wolfen. We add to their names the names of those whose yahrzeits occurred in the past week: Abram Adler, Bella Adler, Don Adlin, Albert Allen, Chaim Atzmon, Alexander Braun, Katarina Braun, Betty Brody, Louise Brownell, Emmanuel Burton, Mark Kane, Conrado Cardenas, Rona Crona, Bobby Clare, Benjamin Codd, Robert Cohen, George Cooper, Ann Cutrow, Morris Danzinger, Arnold Dauber, Penrose Desser, Sherry DeVries, Irene Dunner, Henry Epstein, Robert Farkas, Adele Feinstein, Eve Feinberg, Vivian Fern, Bernice Fisher, Celia Fisher, Marion Fishman, Elizabeth Flesh, Philip Foreman, David Foster, Flora Fox, Rudolph Fox, Alan Frank, Betty Frankel, Rose Steinberg Frankel, Ben Friedman, Nejtola Gosian, Guilford Glazer, Phyllis Goldklang, Mary Gordon, Henrietta Gorlick, Joel Greenberg, Helene Hansen, Daryl Hirsch, Betty Eisen, Esther Kessler, George Kutal, Lenore Kramer, Burton Kurtzman, Shirley Lackman, Aaron Lask, Rosara Liebsen, Charles Levison, Max Levine, Herman Levitt, William Lewis, Jack Lipson, Edgar Marks, Fritz Mayer, Nathan Marin, Ruth Marin, Stanley Mayer, Rose Morar, Don Nathanson, Samuel Newman, Alan Novak, Lillian Opper, George Pine Ness, Hazel Quick, Boris Ratner, Lee Reinman, John Riskin, Robert Robbins, Maya Rofi, Edith Rosenbaum, Gertrude Rose, Eleanor Rubin, George Schuckman, Bella Schwartz, Susan Schwarz, Leonard Schaefer, Nathan Smook, Alexander Snookal, Marion Steinberg, Susan Turk, Lisa Walder, Benjamin Ward, Ava Weissenberg, Rosalie Waldenberg, David Wolf, Joshua Young, Murray Zachary, and Joel Zucker. We also call to mind those to whom we are grateful but do not know, those who have fallen defending the flags of the United States of America, the State of Israel, the innocent victims of senseless terrorism and violence all over the world, and everyone who has no one to say Kaddish for them. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו.
בריחו.
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמם ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו והכל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Woo! Shabbat shalom, everyone. So before we move into a little Kiddush and Motzi, just a few brief announcements. First, if you want to learn a little bit more about the Jews writing all these amazing Christmas songs, please check out the previous broadcast of Cantor Gurney's Music Matters. And then tonight, Kosher Christmas. Yes, with author Joshua Platt in his book on Kosher Christmas. It's going to be fantastic with Rabbi Nanis, Cantor Peacock, and I believe that Rabbi Leader is going to be there as well, because I think he's friends with Joshua. They go back pretty far. So I think that's also going to be a lot of fun. So please check that out. Also, if anybody watching with us or anybody here with us this morning is not a member yet, but is interested in membership at Wilshire Boulevard Temple.
Yeah, you said yes.
Yes, I did. Growth mindset. It's growth mindset.
Yes, it's
growth mindset. If you're not a member yet, please give us a call, email, reach out. We'd love to talk to you about membership if you are at all interested. So with that, Cantor Gurney, I think we'll just jump right into a little motzi or kiddush and motzi. What do you think?
Shall we do it? All right, everyone at home, raise your cups. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. L'chaim, everyone. And now, challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. That's a good one.
Yeah, Cantor Gurney trying to take a bite out of that. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Thank you, Tess and Jess, who are working backstage, making sure that this goes so beautifully and smoothly. Can't do it without you. So thank you. Cantor Gurney, always wonderful to be here with you.
Always.
All right, Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.